Greetings. So, 2 days away to Hell in a Cell. And this is a SmackDown's Go Home show. And I'm going to get this out of the way. This is a very good SmackDown. It's a solid show. From top to finish. I thought, honestly, I thought the court with Otis and Miz was a joke, but it wasn't that bad. The other stuff leading up to it was bad, but the court thing wasn't that bad, and this show wasn't bad at all. It was a good show. It was a good go home show for Hell in a Cell. We got another match for Hell in a Cell. I'll get to it in a bit. There was only 4 matches confirmed, but now there's gonna be a 5th match, and maybe there'll be more matches, which I'll do a prediction show. And if more matches come along, I don't know. I'm gonna do a prediction show tomorrow, only for the confirmed matches. Maybe I'll speculate what's gonna happen. But let's talk about this show. Okay. So, after last week, jeyuso member got physical with Roman Reigns, and now it's going to be tribal consequences on behalf of the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Now it's obviously led to the main event tonight, and the main segment, not the main event, the last segment of the night, the main segment as I call it. Okay. So let's get to the first things first. First things first. Kevin Owens has the KO show for the first time ever on SmackDown, and his guest is the returning Daniel Bryan, who came back last week. Good to see that. Remember, KO and Daniel Bryan had a tag team match at WrestleMania. KO teamed up with Sammy to take on Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. So KO wanted to talk about how KO was thanked Daniel for mentioning his name last week. Remember, Daniel Bryan mentioned all these young names he's excited to see in wrestle, hopefully. Mentions KO's name. Kevin Owens mentioned he's won all the titles, Universal title. He's never won a WWE Championship, but he's won the Universal title, Intercontinental title, US title, but he's never won a tag team title. So he suggests him and Daniel Bryan team up, and Daniel Bryan's like, there's a reason for that. It's because I'm paraphrasing, you tend to turn on your friends, which is true. Turn on Sammy and Jericho. Okay. Kevin Owens suggests a team of Hell, KO, and Daniel Bryan's like, that's what he's taken. Kane has the Hell part, and Kevin Owens, oh yeah, now I'm thinking of it, yeah, it makes sense. Now all of a sudden, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode comes out. Dolph Ziggler music hits. They come out. He's part of the young generation, Ziggler, but he's like 40 years old. All right. And then all of a sudden, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, come out. Remember, they got their titles have been traded with the New Day and other tag team champions for SmackDown. They were talking, and all of a sudden, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura came out. Talking trash as always. Daniel Bryan was in a suit, so Daniel Bryan suggests, how about we start this tag team now? And then if we get to commercial, a brawl starts to break out. We get to commercial break, and it turns out to be 4-on-4 Street Profits, Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. On one side, on the face side of tag team, didn't look like Daniel Bryan's there. So he was changing, obviously, but it looked like it was a 4-on-3 match for the beginning of the match. You come back from a commercial, but at the same time, you see Kevin Owens down in the corner, being in the heel corner on the ground, being overtaken. Most of this match, Daniel Bryan was taking the beating. Remember, he just suffered that knee. He looked like he suffered a leg or knee injury, whatever. Obviously, it was fake. And Cesaro went for it. They all went for it. I'm gonna just get to the ending. The Street Profits, Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan won the match. Montez Ford won with that splash. I'm gonna be so honest. I've never seen a splash with that much height from anybody in WWE history, or WCW history, or I don't know. There probably were, but RVD comes close. His splash reminds me of RVD. So they won, and it looks like Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan are gonna be a tag team potentially. So the court thing starts, and there's a lot of Otis, Law and Otis, parodying of Law and Order. You know how Law and Order goes from the crime, out on the streets, catching the criminal, whatever. And then usually the last half hour is it's court. Basically, this is just a court, not court. This is between Otis with Tucker there, and Morrison and Miz. Miz is the plaintiff trying to convince why he should have the money in the bank. The judge is JBL. Ron Simmons there is like the cop that's there to make sure everything goes well. Right? So the APA, Miz has to give his argument, his why Otis should not be money in the bank, and Otis says, I want this money bank fair and square, which he did. Okay. This segment continues on, the show goes on 2 more times. Next, we have the debut match of Bianca Belair. Remember, she's been on matches before on Raw, mostly against Zelina Vega. And she tagged with Ruby Riott a bit because Liv Morgan wasn't there, but that was on Raw. Now she's on SmackDown where they'll use her more. Now finally in the match, they didn't use her vignettes showing how strong she is, how fast she is, how smart she is. That's all good, but you gotta show us in the ring. You're not in the casual audience, not in the NXT hardcore audience. Now you're gonna show her in the casual audience. So she's talking to Zelina Vega. She basically dominates Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega got some kicks, some little moves in, but this is more of a Zelina Vega taking a beating from Bianca Belair to make Bianca Belair look really strong, which she is, and she looked a little athletic too. She picked up Zelina Vega like this, like a weight, what's it called? I forget what it's called. I forget the actual weight. In a gorilla press. She's gorilla press. And then she gave her a finishing move. And Bianca Belair got her first win on SmackDown. And I'm interested to see where they go on for her. For her. Now the next match is Lars Sullivan versus Chad Gable. Chad Gable and let's go back. So Chad Gable's being interviewed in the ring by Kayla Braxton. Chad Gable says he's the reason why he hasn't been drafted to Raw or drafted to SmackDown. He's afraid he's trying to SmackDown. He has been disrespected, not disrespectful. And he's calling out the biggest guy on the SmackDown roster versus Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan basically destroys him. And then beat up, tired Shorty G, was getting interviewed by Kayla at the end of the match. And he's like, Shorty G says, I quit. And then we go backstage. We see that part of the story is Shorty G's in the training room being looked at by the doctor, and Adam Pearce is there, the producer, is like, you can't quit. And Chad Gable was like, Shorty G's like, no, you don't get it. Shorty G is done. And he's basically saying, everything's going to go your way, everything you do is doing the right way, goodbyes above, blah, 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 blah. It's going to help him get to where he wants to be. And he's like, no, it's not working for him, basically. So he says, I got to go back. He has to go back where he came from, where he was built at as NXT, built up as American Alpha. He was an Olympic athlete. And he has to go back to he said, you have to go back to being Gable. Chad Gable. Finally, they got rid of Shorty G, and then that's the stupidest thing they ever done with him. Now they're making him Chad Gable. Remember, his whole gimmick with Shorty G is that he was short. That wasn't going to go anywhere. He's a fine worker. And okay, it's a nice match versus Seth Rollins versus Buddy Murphy. Seth Rollins was being interviewed by the new SmackDown Women's. This match is basically Seth Rollins says he's going to teach Buddy Murphy a lesson, that Buddy Murphy is a disciple. He's the Messiah. Right? So they have a match. I thought this match was going to happen in Hell in a Cell, but it's taking place tonight. Is it here? No. Okay, so before we get to the next segment, which is a Sasha Banks BAYLEY thing, you see the Street Profits, KO and the Daniel Bryan celebrating the victory. Street Profits go away, KO goes away. I forgot to mention this. Daniel Bryan said in the interview with the KO, he said he wants the Intercontinental title to be defended every week. So going back to the backstage when Street Profits and KO went away, Sami Zayn came up to Daniel Bryan. Did not like what he said. He said he reminded him that he beat him at WrestleMania. He'll defend the title when he wants to and when he feels like it. He's like, I'm the champion. I decide when I want to defend the title, not you. So next time we talk about it, please don't. Okay. So on top of the hour, the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, I'll go back to the Otis thing. So we go back to Otis before Sasha Banks thing. Otis. He's when Mysterio was at the court as a witness or whatever, he was in that match. He says, he won fair and square. Otis wanted fair and square. Asuka was there talking Japanese. Nobody knew what he understood. JBL was like the person, the choreographer who types in everything that a person says at a court. It says, "Did you get that?" And it turns out to be Teddy Long. You know, this will be a tag team match. Holla holla holla. And it was Tuck, okay. Then they go back to the 9 o'clock hour. Bayley was in the ring. He said she had 4 interviews, which I watched one of them. She was being asked, why didn't you sign that contract? She's getting tired of it. It's like, are you afraid? Do you want to? Are you afraid of her? Why are you not signing this contract? She basically says Sasha Banks doesn't deserve this title shot, which she kind of doesn't because nobody won a number 1 contender match. Sasha Banks never won a number 1 contender match for this. They just kind of gave her this opportunity. I guess she did get screwed in the SmackDown match. Okay. So Sasha Banks' music hits after Bayley says "Ding Dong Hello." That's her new catchphrase. Ding Dong Hello. So Sasha Banks' music hits. She has the contract in her hand. Walks down to the ring. Gets in the ring. Just basically doesn't take the mic and says, sign the contract, sign the contract. So, Bayley has a chair, gets off the chair, grabs it, about to hit Sasha Banks with it. She ducks, but she drops the women's SmackDown Women's title. And so Sasha Banks picked up the SmackDown Women's title, right? And she wouldn't give it back unless she signed it. So as she was going to do it, as she was going to give the contract to Bayley, Bayley was like, yeah, I'll sign it. If she can do it. Sasha Banks, Bayley tried to grab the belt and pull it like a tug of war, but Sasha Banks didn't have it, kicked her and stuff. Sasha Banks trying a submission move, but Bayley managed to get out of it. And then Bayley tried to get she got the upper for like a second, and then Sasha Banks got the upper hand again. Get the steel chair was placed. She put Bayley into the steel chair. The neck was through the steel chair and put in a submission move. Her bank statement, kind of. She had the contract open, and with Bayley's free arm and free hand, she signed the contract. Sasha Banks forcing Bayley to sign the contract. And if it's official, at Hell in a Cell, we're going to have the women's title match between Bayley and Sasha Banks in the Hell in a Cell match. It's official now. This made Sasha Banks look strong. I don't know if she's going to win. I have a feeling she's going to lose. This is it. This is the picture after she made her sign it. And you see Bayley's neck through the chair, and Sasha Banks holding the title, telling her it's going to be mine in Hell in a Cell. Okay, next we got the Buddy Murphy versus Seth Rollins match. This is the last match for the night. Obviously, this storyline was traded from Raw to SmackDown with the Mysterios going to SmackDown. This is more about Murphy and Aaliyah's relationship now. This match was very good. It was an amazing match. One of the best matches I've seen in SmackDown all year. What I like about this, not just how the moves, it was all about the psychology of this match. Seth Rollins has become such a good heel. Like, and the turnbuckle is like, you're the disciple. I'm the Messiah. You do as I say, blah, blah. The whole match, Seth Rollins is getting in his face, slapping, hitting him. There was a spot where Murphy, it looks like his arm or shoulder was out. Seth Rollins took advantage of that, giving the knuckle power bomb on the turnbuckle. There's a couple of suicide dives, one by Seth Rollins. Murphy was going for one, but he ducked. He gave him a back body drop to Seth Rollins at the table. It was kind of awkward though, but the table didn't break, the announce table. Aaliyah was watching the match, and then her brother and father come up. I was like, "Why are you watching this?" Like, they don't. Obviously, they're not for this. They're not for Aaliyah falling for Buddy Murphy. Yeah, I'm calling Buddy Murphy because I like that name better. So, Seth Rollins won with the curb stomp. It was a good 20-minute match, maybe. Okay. Seth Rollins was coming out with a candlestick to teach Buddy Murphy more of a lesson. Aaliyah comes in because she tried to convince Dominic and Mysterio to go help him. Aaliyah runs out and is like, "If you can't help him, I will." She comes out. Seth Rollins is like, "What are you gonna do?" And Dominic follows her, goes out, trying to tell Aaliyah, "Let's leave it alone. This is not our business." Seth Rollins attacks Dominic, and all of a sudden Rey Mysterio's music hits, attacks Dominic. Attacks who's attacking Dominic. Seth Rollins attacking Dominic. As Mysterio was getting in the ring, Seth was getting ready, but he bails, and then, they don't approve of Aaliyah and Murphy. Okay, now back to the court case. It seemed like JBL was gonna rule in Otis's favor. Remember, Tucker was on the stand. He didn't like Miz. He basically said, "You ruined his life." Which he has. Tucker's been beating him up, but JBL is the judge. He didn't like what he was going to favor an Otis because Otis is legally was fair and square. And Miz is like, I stopped him right there. Miz is like, "Sorry, I have new evidence." And he had a black briefcase. Ron Simmons, Farouk, whatever, took it to the JBL. JBL opened it. He had a white face, like, obviously it was money, right? Obviously it was a bribe. It was money. And JBL favors in Miz, but he didn't give the Money in the Bank to Miz. He said, and Hell in a Cell, it's going to be Otis versus The Miz. Whoever wins, it's going to be the official holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Okay. So we're the Hell in a Cell. Maybe they'll finish that storyline because they're on both different brands, right? So that's going to be the end of that storyline, I believe. Okay. See Seth Rollins with the victory here. And Aaliyah comforting Buddy Murphy. So next, the Woman Empire. Woman comes out with a Paul Heyman. Okay. Who's gonna talk something? Okay. I think all of a sudden you see the Jumbotron. You see one who you think I thought it was Jay, but he had a bandana. He was in the private box for Roman, right? Roman has a private box because now he's the big dog. He's the top of the Smackdown of probably all wrestling. He's a top dog, whatever you want to call him. And I thought it was Jay with a bandana. He said, "Oh, look at the food." Like, you changed, man. You're not family. Like, you're not like family anymore. You're not that man anymore. And then it turns out it was Jimmy. He said, "Oh, Jay's right behind you." Jay sneaks up right behind Roman, attacks him. Roman gets a little bit of upper hand. Roman goes for a steel chair. I think Roman goes for a steel chair, right? But Jay super kicks him. Goes to the turnbuckle. Does this splash. It wasn't long. It was like a minute. Didn't need to go on for a long time. Goes up the ramp and Jimmy comes out. They celebrate together, and Roman recovers, takes the mic. He's like, "You don't get it." He's like, "You don't get it. If I lose, I say I quit at Hell in a Cell. I can't be the top face of I don't mean face as a baby face. The top face of WWE. I can't be the tribal chief of the family. I can't support my family. I can't be what I said I am." Basically what he says. And he says, "I can live with that. But can you live with that if you say I quit?" He says, "If you lose, you're out of the family. Both of you are out of the family. Your wives are out of the family. Your kids are out of the family. Your grandkids are out of the family." So he's basically saying, if you lose, your whole family and generation is out of the Samoan dynasty if he loses that Hell in a Cell. Which, let's be fair, it's going to happen. And then you see the cage falling, right? The Hell in a Cell cage falling. I hate the red cage. They should not bring it back. Falling, signals Hell in a Cell right there. Over Woman. Jimmy comes back, climbs up the cage about halfway. And Roman stands tall, gets near the ropes, holds the belt up, where you see Jimmy there halfway, and Roman stands tall. They end SmackDown. So this SmackDown was very good. Like I said, it was a good go home show for previewing Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is only 5 matches so far. Remember, it's Bayley versus sashabanks, Hell in a Cell match, 3 Hell in a Cell matches by the way. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton Hell in a Cell match. Romanreigns and jeyuso I Quit Hell in a Cell match. Otis versus The Miz for the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then what's the other match? Shit, I forgot. Oh, Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Yeah, it wasn't that important. And there's a rumored match between The Fiend and T-Bar, but it hasn't been confirmed. So if something's come up, I'll let you guys know. And yeah, so that's it. That's all I have. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you.